Hello, Tigers. I'm Quinte Wise, Financial Aid Specialist here at Texas Southern University. Today I'm going to explain the SAP process, which stands for Satisfactory Academic Progress. I'm going to go over the policy and explain how it relates to you as a student, how it relates to your financial aid, and I'm also going to go over your options. So if you are placed on academic probation, I'm going to let you know what all your available options are. Okay, we're going to first go into the policy so you can have a better understanding of how the SAP process works. There are various federal and state regulations governing student financial assistance program that require that every institution develop a standard to measure a student's progress in their degree plan. This policy, known as Satisfactory Academic Progress, sets the standard for the minimum allowable academic progress required to retain eligibility for financial aid. The determining factors in calculating satisfactory academic progress include: one, the number of hours, credit hours that you are attempting, and how many of those hours you're actually passing. Number two, your grade point average. Number three, the length of time taken to complete your degree program. Satisfactory academic progress is determined at the conclusion of the spring term for each academic year. Student whose appeals are granted are subject to be monitored more frequently, which is going to be at the end of each term. Failure to maintain satisfactory academic progress will result in the student being placed on financial aid suspension. Students are ineligible to receive financial aid while they are on financial aid suspension, but they may appeal for the reinstatement of their financial aid awards. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper into those 3 points because those 3 points are very important. Let's go into the first one, which is it talks about your hours and the amount of hours that you pass. Now, this is what actually affects your completion ratio. This is what we look at. You have to maintain a 0.67 completion ratio. So what determines that ratio? We look at the amount of hours that you enrolled in and the amount of hours that you're actually passing. So that's what calculates your completion ratio. The amount of hours you're enrolled in and how many of those hours you're actually passing. That determines your ratio. That was the first point. Number two is your GPA, your grade point average. As an undergraduate student, which is from your freshman year to your senior year, you're considered an undergraduate student. You have to maintain a 2.0 grade point average to remain in good standing. Okay. For graduate, it's a 3.0. So you have to remain at a 2.0 for undergrad, 3.0 for graduate students to remain in good academic standing. You also have to maintain that first point, which is your 0.67 completion ratio. Okay, you can't be good in one and off in the other because if you drop below either one of those requirements, you're at risk of being placed on academic probation. Okay, and the third point is the maximum amount of hours that you are allowed to attempt. For undergrad, you have 180 hours that you can attempt to receive your bachelor's degree. For graduate, it's 63. Okay, so whenever you hit that max for either classification, you are at risk of being placed on academic probation. Okay, so keep those three key points in mind. The ones that are very important, especially for incoming freshmen or students that are at the beginning of their undergrad, is the completion ratio and your grade point average. Make sure that you are monitoring those two. Make sure that you are everything that you enrolled in, make sure you're passing. And if you just happen to be dropping classes or failing classes, just be mindful of your completion ratio, okay? And also monitor that GPA because you have to have a 2.0 to remain in good standing. If you fall below that, you will be placed on academic probation and you will not be eligible to receive financial aid, okay? So let's just say, let leads into the next part. Let's just say you are placed on academic probation and you have to submit an appeal. It's called a Satisfactory Academic Progress Appeal. You can submit an appeal for review. How that works is you complete the form. It's an application. You complete every section. There's also some sections that require you to do some things on your own and submit it with your application. There's also a section on the application for your advisor. Now you should be meeting with your advisor on regularly, but you would definitely have to meet your advisor to sign off on your academic application, your appeals application. Okay, and your advisor is just going to go over your degree plan, make sure you're on track, and also make sure that you're enrolled in the correct classes. That's very important. So you would have to meet with your advisor in order to get your academic, your appeal signed and submitted to the Office of Student Financial Assistance for review. Once it's submitted, we will submit it. We will submit it to a committee, and it will be up to that committee to determine if it's granted or if it's denied. Okay, so granted, if it's granted, you're eligible to receive financial aid for the academic year. Okay, so you can receive your financial aid. The only thing is, you will be monitored more frequently, as the previous passage stated. You will be reviewed. Your standing will be reviewed after each term, and you will be reviewed to make sure that you're meeting your requirements and that you're making progress, because we want to make sure that you are making progress. So we're going to review it after every term to make sure that you are doing your part. Now, if it is denied, you are ineligible to receive financial aid if you're placed on academic probation and your appeal is denied. Now, this doesn't mean we want you to stop going to school, drop all your classes, and forget about school. We don't want you to do that. If possible, if financially possible, we would love for you to continue to attend and push through if you can financially. But if not, we want you to at least complete 6 hours, which is 2 classes, and pass them, because we want to see you make progress. Those 2 classes can be taken here at Texas Southern University, or you can go to another institution to take them. And if you would like to come back to Texas Southern University, you can transfer those classes over and reappeal and submit that information with your appeal, because we want to see that you're making progress. So if just know that that is an option. You're not eligible to receive financial aid because you will be on suspension, but we're not telling you that you can't attend Texas Southern University at all. You can still attend. You just be aware that you will have to come out of pocket for your charges for the classes that you're going to be remaining in. Okay, but just keep in mind that whatever you choose to do, if that happens, make sure you complete at least 6 credit hours and reappeal, and we will review it, because we want to see that you're making progress and that you're doing your part. But I don't expect any of you guys to be on academic probation, because I expect all my undergrad students to maintain a 2.0 GPA with a 0.67 completion ratio, and the same from the grad students. I expect a 3.0 with a 0.67 completion ratio. If you are doing your part, you're going to class, you're showing up, receiving tutorials if you need them, do your part, and you won't have to worry about this. You won't have to worry about the whole academic process, the appeals process. You won't have to worry about this. But it's good to know, because a lot of students are not aware of this process until they're on academic probation, and it's the first time they're hearing about it. So it's a shocker to them. But just know, become familiar with the process, become familiar with these requirements, and just make sure that you are above them and that you're meeting them. Okay, at least make sure that you're meeting them or exceeding them. That's the best thing to do. Just become familiar with this whole process and just make sure that you're doing your part. Because I promise you, if you do your part, you will not have to worry about this process. Okay. But like I said, I do not expect any of you guys to be on academic probation, because you're going to do your part. But if you happen to be placed on academic probation, because things happen, this is life and things do happen, you do have options. So do not hesitate to come talk to myself or any other financial aid specialist in the Office of Student Financial Assistance, and we are here to provide you with the information and the best guidance that we possibly can. Okay, we are located in the West Garage, so you can come see us at any time. Like I said, if you are in that situation, it's not the end of the road, and we are here for you. So definitely come speak with us if you have any questions or concerns. And that pretty much concludes the presentation. Go Tigers!